Next, we'll go to another biological capture um, process that I call BiCRS. So it's biomass carbon removal and storage. I like this graphic. I know it's a little busy, but it's versatile. So BiCRS, right, pathway, is another umbrella term. You're gonna pick up that I'm using a lot of umbrella terms, but it's really helpful, right? It's all the things you can do with biomass, which is a ton of different things. On the left side, you're starting with this initial carbon drawdown, the same thing that you had with your nature-based solutions. It's cheap, easy, boom, you get your carbon locked away. Then you need to source sustainable biomass. Keyword there being sustainable. This can be residues from forest management, agricultural debris. It can also be municipal solid waste. That's that little truck coming from the city. We tried to cover all these little options. So it's all these organic waste that didn't really have any other value or use. They're then processed in something we're calling like the conversion facility, right? That's step number 3. It's this one facility that you are converting the biomass into something else. It can be a ton of different technologies that you deploy here. It can be pyrolysis, heating without oxygen, combustion, that would be heating with oxygen, hydrothermal liquefaction, fermentation, gasification, a ton of different things. But regardless of whatever you do, you're going to have your products fall into one of these 3 categories. First is you can have CO2 or your bioproduct go to dedicated geologic storage. That's a high durability trap, right? Like, say if you're doing combustion in that facility, you could capture that CO2 off that smokestack and put it underground. If you were doing pyrolysis and getting a bio-oil fraction, you could put that in geologic storage as well. The second category is bioproducts for disposal or application. So say if you were doing pyrolysis again, you can have a biochar fraction. You could apply that to a field. If you had biomass and you dried it, compressed it, cased it, you had a little bio brick, you could throw that into a landfill and that could be a disposal. That's another option. And our final option is this catch-all. It kind of says other co-products. Sometimes with biomass projects, you aren't just looking at the carbon value, you're also pulling other values out of that biomass, right? If you're combusting it, you could be using that heat to generate electricity. If you were fermenting in your facility, you could be creating ethanol. So there are other products that you could be generating from your BiCRS facility or your conversion process. Similar to ARR, it's highly feasible. It's photosynthetic. We have biomass available. The sustainability aspect is something you need to dig into and make sure you're sourcing well, but it's still scalable and feasible. The MRV also is a little bit easier than ARR. In the middle right there, we have that facility. It's a lot more constrained and defined. So MRV is a lot more easier to execute in BiCRS process compared to ARR. But the trade-off is a higher cost. You're having a lot more steps that involve people, you're procuring biomass, you're processing it, you're transporting it, sometimes even paying for that final fate of the bioproduct. All those add to the cost, and that's the trade-off that you'll have, your benefits and your compromises.